What you see on the screen right now is what is known as an Eden fruit, and it's better than the Bone Blossom. You've probably never heard of it before, and that's because it's been an incredibly well-kept secret for ages. But now, it's finally time I reveal it to all of you guys. The Eden fruit is an incredibly obscure and rather odd-looking crop in Grow a Garden. And as I've said, it's theorized to be better than the Bone Blossom, at least in terms of its value in the Sell Shop. Now, there's a reason you've likely never come across it in-game before, and that's because it actually isn't in the game yet. Still, its story is quite interesting, and that's what I want to focus on today. In this video, I'll be detailing to all of you guys the insane lore behind Grow a Garden's most secret and potential best-selling crop of all time, the Eden fruit. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so what exactly is an Eden fruit? Well, I'm not too sure. I'm pretty confident it's one of those completely made-up plants specifically for this game. But the way I found it was actually pretty interesting, so I want to share it with you guys. I was recently looking through the game files of Grow a Garden, and there amongst all the other crops I found the Eden fruit. Visually, it appears to be a lumpy yellow crop with a brown stem extruding out of its top. Its seed also reflects the design of the plant, as it's a simple yellow seed that fades into an orange color via a gradient. The tree that produces Eden fruit also fits the plant's design, as it has giant lush yellow leaves accompanied by specks that glow bright neon yellow, as well as a towering white trunk. By the looks of it, it appears the Eden fruit has been completely developed and is ready to be added to the game. So the question remains of why hasn't it yet? Well, that's because I'm pretty sure it was most likely completely replaced. As I'm sure you are all aware, for the longest time, the very best plant in Grow a Garden was the Candy Blossom, with an average sell value of 100,000 per each individual crop. Its title as best crop would remain for several months, until it was overtaken by the Bone Blossom, in the prehistoric event, which has a sell value of 200,000 per individual crop, making it worth double the Candy Blossom. Now, the interesting thing about the Bone Blossom is that it was specifically created to perform better than the Candy Blossom, as the developers wanted players to finally have the chance to be given a crop that surpassed this incredibly rare Candy Blossom's value. The thing is though, the Bone Blossom wasn't always going to be the original candidate for the crop that overtakes the Candy Blossom. In fact, it was originally going to be the topic of this video, the Eden fruit. According to my friend Tanuka, who, as you may know by watching previous videos on this channel, is an expert at Grow a Garden, they somehow managed to get extremely rare plants like the purple cabbage, which I don't even know how, but based on how they do have it, you know they know what they're talking about. Anyways, they said that the Eden fruit was going to be the Bone Blossom, before it was eventually replaced with the Bone Blossom we have come to know and love. This lumpy yellow crop would have been the best-selling thing in the entire game, but its fame was taken away by a completely another made-up plant. Now, this begs the question of why? Why would the Eden fruit, a plant which, as I've showcased, has already been fully developed, be completely scrapped and replaced with the Bone Blossom? Well, I actually have two theories as to why this may be the case. One a little more likely, and the other the reason why I believe this crop is actually better than the Bone Blossom, potentially overtaking its replacement and becoming the true most valuable plant in the entire game. Let's start with the first theory, that being the Eden fruit was replaced by the Bone Blossom as the Bone Blossom fit better into the prehistoric event. Now, when I first heard about the Eden fruit, my mind immediately went to the Garden of Eden, a sanctuary-like garden which plays an important role in some religions. Now, the Garden of Eden is most heavily discussed in those religions in the context of a time period that happened long ago. So it would make sense if the Eden fruit was in the prehistoric event, as the Garden of Eden is most heavily associated with a distant past. At least based on my knowledge. I'm not too knowledgeable about religion and that sort of stuff, so please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. However, references to that religion may not have been well known within the Grow a Garden community, so the Eden fruit could have been replaced with the Bone Blossom to more fit the theme of the prehistoric event, which is about like dinosaurs and stuff. if the Eden Fruit was also going to be part of that event at least. My second theory, though, is much more speculative, and that is that the Eden Fruit was scrapped because it was too powerful. As I had said, the Bone Blossom is twice as valuable as the Candy Blossom, so it's possible the Eden Fruit could have been even more powerful than the modern-day Bone Blossom. So it was scrapped to maintain the balancing of the game. Now, at first, this could actually make a lot of sense, especially if paired with the previous theory I just mentioned, as they both kind of work in tandem to effectively devoid all significance of the Eden Fruit and remove it completely from the game. But it does raise a single question. Why wouldn't the developers just take the easy route and nerf the Eden Fruit's sell value so they could actually add it to the game and it's balanced? Well, I think at that point they could just add a completely new, more prehistoric themed crop to fulfill the Eden Fruit's role, such as the Bone Blossom, and this original crop would just be pushed to the side. Still, I definitely think it's possible the Eden Fruit could be more powerful than even the Bone Blossom, making it the best crop in the entire game, for better or for worse from a balancing perspective. Now, fear not, Eden Fruit fans, as there is hope this crop could one day return to the game. Given how the Candy Blossom, a limited plant, was eventually replaced, it's possible the Bone Blossom, also a limited plant, could be as well in the future. This would give the Eden Fruit a perfect opportunity for a comeback to not only be reintroduced properly into the game as an obtainable plant, but also as a reference to its original intended function as the best crop in the entire game in terms of sell value. It's also possible the Eden Fruit could just be added as an admin-only plant, as according to my knowledge, there hasn't been any recorded evidence of it in anyone's gardens, even admins. So it's possible nobody actually obtained it and the admins could just make it exclusive to them, much like other plants in the game like the Noble Flower or Purple Cabbage. Still, the Eden Fruit has a lot of potential in it, so it's definitely possible that could be utilized in a future update, maybe in one dedicated to replacing the Bone Blossom. Anyways, that was basically everything I wanted you to know about the Eden Fruit. It's kind of crazy to think how a crop better than the Bone Blossom could potentially be out there, and it has never been obtained by normal players. And who knows, maybe one day it could be released to the public. I'll just say, it just seems like a waste of this completely developed plant to just be scrapped. But I guess we'll have to make do with what we have. After all, a bunch of other plants and even pets with full animations have been scrapped in the past, so this isn't really anything new. Anyways, with all of that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of the Eden Fruit, as well as if you think it'll make a comeback into the game, as I'm genuinely curious if you guys think it will, as well as how you think it will be actually reintroduced if it does come back into the game, as I don't know what event it could be a part of. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.